What is up, team? Oh, let me redo this real quick so I can make sure I have the recording appropriate. What is up, team? Welcome back to headquarters. Your Antifa CEO is feeling not as CEO as usual, but I didn't feel like it was fair for me to just ambush y'all with that yesterday. Regardless, I know that I don't necessarily have to apologize for my vulnerabilities. I don't have to apologize for being human. I understand that aspect of it, but I don't think it was necessarily fair to just pull a bunch of people into something that I was going through in that moment. At least ambush style, if we're going to be honest. That at least at the bare minimum, I could have tried to reach out in some way, but at that moment, pushing that button was the only thing that I knew how to do, how to reach out. So just working through it, trying to build myself back up brick by brick. When we're falling apart, sometimes it seems hard. In the darkness of the tunnel, it can be hard to find the light. And I'm trying really hard to not overdo it. I don't know. I don't know. I feel really bad right now for my wife and stuff because, I'm in crisis. And so I'm really kind of leaning on her in some regards. But at the same time, kind of is what it is. When people are in the trenches, you got to reach in and pull them out. So I appreciate y'all comrades for showing up. I appreciate everybody who continues to lift me up and embolden me and give me the energy that I need to continue on this fight for us, for all of us. A fight that we're just getting started. And I know that, I know that right now this could seem like potentially, I don't know. You see it from the beginning. You're like, was that weakness? But I don't feel like it was. I feel like it was strength. I feel like, in a moment, sometimes being vulnerable with people, sometimes being open, sometimes being honest and admitting that you don't want to be alone. I think that's okay. And I think that's acceptable. And I would hope that anyone in any capacity that feels that type of way would reach out in everywhere that you can push a button to reach out. Please do that. Please do that in any way, shape, or form. What's up, Joey? Thank you for coming through. I appreciate you. Anyone that can push a button, please do that in any way, shape, or form because, it doesn't matter who you are or what you've done or anything like that. But, we're human and sometimes we get broken down and sometimes we find ourselves in these very extreme moments and you just need people. We're not rugged individuals. It takes a community. It takes a lot of people to come together. And with that being said, I wanted to use a little bit of time today to focus on the team. We are putting together some, hardworking people behind the scenes that are making this content game a little bit better for you. Alleviating a little bit of the stress for me, thank God. And we're focusing big picture and we're making sure that we can move accordingly, legally, operating, and just expanding, because when it comes down to it, we are in a long fight. So I didn't waver in the beginning. I just recentered and found the new energy and the new fire. So we're going to continue. We're going to continue to push. I'm not going to spend a ton of time today because I have to go hit these 12ers. Maybe that's the anxiety. Who knows? If there was a book or something, if there was some way to figure it out, it'd be easy, but it's not easy. It's not easy for any of us. And, one thing that I realized yesterday is that I think it affects a lot of us, especially more. It's not to say that people on the right or whatever, but, they have like hatred to tap into. And we don't really tap into hatred. And so, like, hatred can really pull you through a lot of things. I don't think that people realize that. And that's why it's something that's very easy to lean into. So, in many ways, this endeavor that we're going on is very hard because it takes a lot from all of us. Hold on. I'm trying to bring up the team member right now. Derek, I invited you. You have to push the accept button. There's a little thing at the bottom of your screen, little two people, blue and pink, and you push that, and it'll let you come up to talk. I invited you too, so you should see a button. And I can't re-invite you because I already sent it, so you should see like a little button there. But maybe it's my fault we didn't do a trial run beforehand. Do you see it now, Derek? Yeah, it's just really like I said though, my anxiety is just crazy right now. Um, maybe part of it is the working situation, who knows. Somewhat of a dangerous job. Somewhat. Actually, yeah, but it is what it is. I appreciate everybody though, and I appreciate that, I appreciate that people keep showing up. I think that that's the most amazing thing about it. It's not even about showing up in the times of crisis. I think it's about the people just showing up, period, inconsistently. Whenever we look at, our numbers, I'm seeing better organic numbers. I'm seeing seeing absolute apocalypse in terms of our reach though. And they're wiping pages. RX Comedy on Facebook just got taken down, which is a pharmacist comedy page. Which, if you are aware of the Pharmacy Guild, excuse me, the Pharmacy Guild is a pharmacy union, which is, I'm pretty sure, the accidental pharmacist is a part of that. I'm pretty sure. I don't want to say he founded it because I don't want to give him any stolen valor, but he might have. And so this could be somewhat, some backroom retaliation in terms of Zucky B taking down one of probably a big ad spender, CVS and Walgreens, companies like that. It's not very profitable if their pharmacists want to make more money, or if their pharmacists are being unionized, or if they need to put more technicians in the store, or if they need to pay technicians more money and provide better health care. None of those things are profitable for the shareholders. Maybe, just maybe, maybe I do have a bit of hatred to tap into to pull me through some things, but I don't necessarily hate billionaires. So I don't want to be classified as that, but I hate the way that people are suffering right now. I definitely hate that. It doesn't make any sense to me, and it doesn't make any sense, the way that we have our lives structured. Do we need row farming? Why does everything have to be so efficient? That's my thing. Why does everything have to be so efficient? And why do we have this administration with the war crimes and the fake meritocracy and the freaking Groyper movement on the rise? Like, that's the reason I had to push the button, not only yesterday, but today, is because I don't have the luxury of time. I have to, if I'm falling apart, I have to fall apart in real time, and then I have to build myself and pick myself back up in real time, because everything is just, it's existential. They are coming for us in so many ways. We got that freaking fanatical dude Fuentes just mopping the floor with the left, just taking up all these radical young men and giving them this false sense of ideology, and so I have to tap into something. I have to continue doing something, because it's okay to break down. And that's the gist of all of this, is that if you break down, sometimes you got to go to the mechanic. Sometimes you got to do whatever. But when you break down, you reach out so that you don't, you reach out and let your comrades build you back up. Thank you so much, Clam Slammy. You let your comrades build you back up. And we're going to build back. I'm building back anew. We're building back better. Shout out Joey B. Hope he's doing okay in his old age, and I know his health. Joey B, look, war criminal, sure. Seems like a decent guy. Who knows? Better than Trump? Yeah. But, man, the freaking oil seizure. All right. I could have talked about it yesterday. I didn't want to talk about it. The freaking oil seizure. We're stealing, because like this, America has a long history of this, though. I mean, I understand why we weren't doing these things in the Western Hemisphere, though, because when you really look at our imperialistic goals and we're going to take these resources in Iraq and Afghanistan and all these places, there's oceans separating us from all of that displacement and all of those migrants. And so, why would we be doing that somewhere where people can literally like immigrate to our country? And not only that, but like they can be radicalized at the same time. We can literally destroy people's lives and they're a couple thousand miles away from us and can like get here, so the whole border thing, it doesn't even make sense whenever you put those things into context, that we're more actively going into these places and disrupting them. I mean, we already had a lot of Venezuelan immigrants as it was, so like you're doing things that's going to make more. But with that being said, we're bringing up a member of the team. We're bringing up Derek, our most recent addition as a Substack contributor. Derek also has some endeavors of his own that he's trying to push, but we're hoping that he is spending as much time cultivating that Substack and that Discord, because the fruits will bear in time. So, Derek, how are you today?
Yo, man, thank you for bringing me on. Can y'all hear me?
Yeah.
Right on. Well, I like to say, as the newly crowned subcommandant del Substack, I like thanks for bringing me on board. Big fan of the project. I really dig it. I like left unity, man. I like getting it all together, and building connections instead of divisions. That's what I'm all about, man. Um, like you say, we don't have a whole lot of time. Like, between the climate and the fucking end run to the the bottom of the pit of late stage capitalism, like there's just not a whole we don't have a whole lot of options other than to fight. And I think what I want to bring to the table is a little bit of lighthearted uh, repartee, if you
Mm-hmm.
will. A little tongue in cheek, kind of poke fun at the bear while also trying to slay it, kind of situation.
Yeah.
So that's where I'm coming from. I got a background in comedy. I did stand up for a while. I did improv in college. So, like, I think the biggest strength that we have is the ability to poke fun at those in power.
That's exactly right.
Because like fascism thrives in solemn silence, and if we can point the weak spots out in the armor, and ridicule those in positions of power, it undermines that power structure and allows us to get actual material gains for people.
That's exactly right. And I think that really encapsulates exactly what I'm doing with the whole Antifa CEO thing, because it really pokes it right in the heart, because I'm just a dude in my kitchen right now making content. Of course, hey, of course we can have a little swagger, we can have a little finesse. Of course, we got a nice thing going on in the background, but it's like, if you want this thing to be real, if you want some sick left radical organization that's hell bent on bringing communism to America, and you want that so bad that you're going to sign an executive order, then I guess you can have it. Like, it's not a problem. We can make that a thing. We're a peaceful, compassionate, and empathetic organization. We're doing some good things. We're emboldening good people. So, I think that's why it all comes together. You reached out, and I wanted to make sure to get you in, because any comrade who can right now definitely needs to engage in and participate as much as possible. I especially appreciate all of your work with the Discord so far, and especially the Substack. My boy Derek, thank you so much for that. My boy Derek is contributing bi-weekly. Wait, did I say that correctly?
Yeah,
Yeah,
bi-weekly as in
twice a week.
twice a
Yes.
week, not
He's
as in
contributing
there's
twice
two
a week.
bisexuals a week.
Yes, two bisexuals a week coming out. But so my boy Derek is he's putting in the time, putting in the energy while also trying to cultivate his own space as well. And so I have to ask Derek right now, like, so what's your immediate goals? What's your immediate goals? I know that we're going through the holiday season. So let's what's your immediate goals for closing out the year? And what are we looking to tee up for the beginning of January?
Oh man, my immediate goal is to conquer this gut-wrenching existential depression that is gripping all of us right now.
Yes, I agree with
Your
that.
fucking live yesterday, man, it hit me right in the feels. Like it really did. Cause like I'm going through it in a different way myself. I'm a living caregiver for my octogenarian grandfather. He's got Alzheimer's, just got diagnosed. So wrestling with that, trying to figure out how to keep my head afloat. That's my immediate. But
Absolutely.
even more immediate than that is building connections because I know that's how I do that other thing.
Absolutely.
Both for myself, and it's an inherently selfish endeavor in a certain sense
It is, but
that I save myself
that's
by
something that
helping to save the world. You know what I mean?
yeah, that's exactly it. That's what I'm
We all save each
realizing
other.
is it is in some way it is very selfish to request, almost demand people's time, um especially in times of crisis, but at the same time those connections, like you said, it will save us, and hopefully we can save each other. We can improve
Yeah,
our material conditions, because when you look at the main problem right now, it is a lack of connection, and even in the internet space, I'm learning is so much easier to actually be connected with people that can make you feel good or make you feel energetic, or just, and it's not even about an echo chamber. Cause I mean, we do debates and stuff. I mean, we ain't got no MAGA right now. I ain't
yeah,
doing no MAGA right now, but, um, we people talk to opposition. I expose myself to right wing propaganda all the time, and I think that that's part of it, is that we are just inundated in every way, shape, or form with scams, with propaganda, with just people trying to beat us down and take everything that we have, that sometimes we are going to break down. Sometimes we are going to let loose. And we just need to make sure that we have as many people as available to us to try to catch us. We have to, as many fail safes as there can be, as many redundancies, as many, that's why I realized yesterday, I'm trying really hard by next year, by the end of next year, to be able to speak like this in real time to 1 million people. That is an extremely ambitious goal. But when you look at the follower count that we have in our network already, we're almost to 9 million collective followers. When you look at the people that we're communicating with, when you look at all the motion that we already have, it sounds extremely unrealistic, but at the same time, extremely palpable. But I realized yesterday that I'm doing that to try to save myself, because if all of these people are looking at me or expect me to show up here or something like that, it's just more accountability for me to not wither away in my despair, for me to not be able to not make it through the tunnel. And so I think that, like you said, those connections are very real right now, especially in this environment when the fascism is trying to separate us in every way, shape, and form. These connections are as real as connections get, and we have to fight to maintain them, fight to cultivate them, and just make sure that we're expanding them in every single way that can be done. Because when it comes down to it, it is life or death. And some days it's mine, some days it's yours, some days it's another comrade that's out there. So we have to make sure that we are here for each other and providing each other with hope. That's what it comes down to, is we have to provide each other with hope, because better days are ahead.
yeah. Hope is an underrated commodity.
In
It
this
is. It
economy,
is.
absolutely.
Yeah. no, because everybody wants to run on caffeine, alienation, and jaded kind of detachment, right?
Yes,
Nobody wants to. Everything's insular. Everything's me, 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 me. There's not a whole lot of us. There's not a
that's
whole lot of
exactly it.
we. We really need to build that community back up. The internet is a great thing, but it's a double-edged sword.
It is.
It's a great way to to get down that little tunnel and end up stuck in your own little corner, or it can be a tool for exactly what we're trying to do here.
Absolutely.
And I think the more energy we put into this, the more benefits it's going to reap, the more, as you put it, sick left radicals,
Absolutely.
as it is. People get together, kind of share the space, share each other's ears, bounce stuff off each other, grow, change, get be better versions of ourselves by looking at the reflection that we show ourselves in talking with each other.
Absolutely. That's
You
exactly
know?
it. And I really I like the spin that you have been bringing. We obviously have different voices whenever we're writing because even though I'm satirical, it's very serious. I write it completely serious. And so but I like the way that you're able to really kind of get those jabs in there, like, and the satire is the level of it is just, I really like it. I really do enjoy it. So I want to
Well,
make sure
thanks,
that you
man.
feel emboldened and you feel engaged in the project. That's why I put you together. I made sure that Adam reached out so that you can, cooperate with some of our other mods. I know that Sarah is also working with you in the Discord.
Oh yeah, yeah. Me and Sarah and Subterranean have a little thing that we're trying to get off the ground as a satellite project, apropos of nothing. I got in one of the other dudes. It's kind of an unpronounceable username. It starts with a C4 something or another.
Yeah, can't.
Yeah, can't.
Chairman
Okay,
can't.
so it is pronounceable. My bad. Um, and that was one thing that I wanted to bring up was just discourse amongst the left and like the tenor of it.
Mm-hmm.
Because like in some of these spaces we can get a little loose and a little rough, and like I don't know.
We
I
have
don't want
to
to say I was
we have to stay solid. So wait,
That's it.
are you saying that you might have had a bad experience with Chairman Camp?
No, not with them directly. I was in a server that they're also in, and there was some discussion amongst, frankly, some Nats bowls have been getting into the mix.
Nat bowls.
And Nats bowls, like the synthesis of fascism and communism, essentially,
Okay.
national Bolsheviks.
Okay.
And so there was some pretty virulent anti-Semitic stuff that popped off. But the thing that I like about leftist spaces is that it's self-policing.
Yes, I agree with that.
That it was immediately, oh hey, that's not cool. Let's look at this. Let's examine this. Let's have a good, frank conversation about the differences between Jews and Judaism and Zionism and where those lines are drawn. And while I don't agree with some of the cats that were in that chat, I think we had a good substantive discussion about that difference.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's the difference between the right and the left is the good faith argument.
Yeah, I would agree. I would agree definitely in that. Because you see it all the time, especially when people are engaging with people on the right on these lives and whatnot. They'll try to engage in a good faith argument, and it'll quickly devolve. And on the left, you can get a good faith argument pretty easily. So you definitely kind of do need your facts and your materials in order. But yeah, like you said, it is self-policing, and the fact that we're trying to bring together a lot of intersectionality, and so we understand that not everybody is going to be 100% where we are, but these people are 80, 90, 99% of the place that we need them to be. But at the same time, not everyone will reach the level of understanding, the level of compassion and empathy required to um, to really rise through the ranks of what would be, I mean, a government or whatever we're thinking, whatever organizational unit that we would be using. People who can't see past their ability to not unpack some of the propaganda that they may have, consumed. And even though they're on the left, some of their views may still be very extreme. Um, those people might not necessarily be able to cut it, but that's one of the problems that we're seeing right now is that on the right, those are the types of people that are being emboldened, given the best platforms, given the best revenue. And so we have to try to figure out some sort of way to combat that, that right now, that's what this is. This is at least the best version of what I can figure out is as how to combat. You look at Fuentes and the numbers he's doing and whatnot. This is the best version of what I can come up with on how to directly combat that, is to provide as many pipelines that I can to off ramp these fascist people, especially the right wingers, the young right wingers, and try to get them into some more compassionate and empathetic spaces, some spaces with women, so women can like tell them that's weird. This is why it's weird. This is why you shouldn't think that way, because that's part of the problem too, is like a lot of people, because we don't have communal spaces and whatnot, a lot of people just like don't talk to women, and they don't like, there's a lot of things we don't understand, and there's so many other things that society puts in your head, like not taking no for an answer, and like you always got to sell, and you keep doubling back, and all these things, and it's like, that we've poisoned, there's so much poison in the minds of so many people, and we're just trying to do the best that we can, I feel like, to chisel away at that, while remaining the best compassionate and empathetic versions of ourselves, like you said, and trying to improve on that.
Damn straight, man. Did you see that thing that came out about Fuentes's viewers being like bot farmed out of India?
I would
So like
believe
he's
it.
he's like
So
astroturfed
I
to
would
a degree.
I
Obviously,
would
there's some fash here, but
I would think okay, so there's two parts to it. Number one, sure, there is some degree of inflation because look, I'm in the propaganda game. We're about to cross 9 million followers. Do some of those people probably follow some of the other pages? Yeah, probably so. But I'm not going in and cleaning up the math. All right. We need a big number
right,
to show strength. So is
right.
his numbers probably inflated to some degree? Absolutely. But this is the thing, and I'm gonna be 100% honest with you. I don't encourage anyone to go listen to Fuentes because, I especially don't encourage any men or young men or anything like that, because if you're not solid in something, women, it's, you're just not gonna, it's not attractive in any way because he's just kind of cursing y'all out and stuff half the time. But as a man, if you're not centered in things, there's these brief moments where he'll weave in leftist ideology and the far right fascism, and he is charismatic in some ways. I'm not sitting here saying anything good about the guy. Do not misconstrue that. But it's like a snake. You have to understand what you're looking at. You have to understand what they're doing. And he's playing a game very well as can be played for someone that is playing on his side of the board. It realistically, there's not any way that you could actually play it better. There's no way that I could see. I have seen so many Groyper Discord servers. I've seen so many Groyper Reddit things. I've seen there's so much Groyper on X. I've seen so much Groyper on these TikTok lives. So we cannot in any way, shape, or form discount the fact that this dude's talking to like 2 million people, 3 million people, just in the United States.
Facts.
We cannot in any way,
Facts.
shape, or form. And I think that we fall into that trap of trying to clownize him, especially with the Piers Morgan thing. When we make him into a clown, number one, he just went more viral. Number two, how did
Yeah.
we not learn from Donald Trump? We have to take these things extremely seriously. We have to unpack exactly what's going on. We have to look at the dark arts that they're engaging in. And it's masterful propaganda. if you are a nationalist, if you think that other people who don't look like you, and he even has people, he's got a bunch of people of color. It's not all white young men. That's one of the crazy things about it.
Well, I mean, the Proud Boys aren't all white. The Proud Boys are multi-ethnic.
Mm-hmm.
Like there's an appeal to multi-ethnic nationalism that's on the rise of late.
That's exactly it.
And that's something that needs to be combated on a daily basis, in my opinion.
That's exactly it. And
Like,
and that's what we're doing, and that's why I had the breakdown yesterday. That's why I was wallowing in despair in bed all morning, and that's why I still put on the suit and came here today, because I don't have the luxury of not fighting. They are radicalizing so many young men, and I am raising two young boys in an extremely conservative area. If I am not careful, my own children are on the brink of being radicalized by this. I was in the pipeline, so I know how easy it was. I spent 20 years of my life looking at it through a almost strictly conservative viewpoint until, something switched. I don't know. We'll give it 19. I'll say 19 years of my life. I don't want to oversell it too much, but
that's funny that you say that, because I went the ANCAP to DSA pipeline myself. Like, I had that fuck you, I'm gonna do what I want. I like smoking pot and doing this, that, and the other. And
we got to
want
make sure
anybody
when we're communicating on here, where you have to use more friendly language. You're live on 7 platforms. Number
right
one.
on, right
Number
on.
two, I don't know all the rules about the uploads after the fact. So let's just, we understand that
Right
grass and whatnot. And I understand the sentiment that you're getting at, that, it's easy to get caught up in that. It's very easy to get caught up in that.
It's easy to get caught up in that. It's enticing. It's, you get to succeed as much as your ability allows you to. But how much does your ability allow you to in a system that is built to keep you down?
And
and that's the realization everybody needs to have.
That's exactly it. And I think, again, Derek, you're doing a great job so far. Excuse me, I had to burp. I'm sorry about that. You're doing a great job so far. And I just want to continue to encourage and embolden you to put as much energy into our project, because it's not capitalism, but, as much as you put into it is as much as you'll get. I am putting so much energy into this myself. And so smart, competent people like yourself, energetic people like yourself, who have the ability to, use those words the way that you are, you're only going to benefit. It's everything that's happening right now. Anyone is only going to benefit. We're only going to grow stronger. We're only going to grow more competent. Our revenue is only going to increase. I'm not trying to be a billionaire or anything, but we obviously have to make money. I'm obviously focused right now on how to make the most money as possible without begging. All right, I'm not coming on here and asking for gifts. Please do not take that in any way, shape, or form as that. But it's about this content, making this content, collaborating with as many people as possible, making sure that everything is easy. I want everything to be easy for everyone, so that we can flood the zone and that we can fight for the minds of our children, so that they do not get caught up in this. Because God forbid, if I am living in a house with two young boys who are getting caught up in the alt-right pipeline because of the freaking streaming and the stuff like that, and the Roblox and the whatever, I sound hella unk right now, but that I'll be damned. That's not going to be me. I'm raising two compassionate young men. I will not put two more poisonous, toxic men in this world. It ends with me. I will be the last toxic man that my generations has produced. There will not be another one after me. I'm sorry for the toxicity that I've put into the world, but I swear on everything that I have that my two boys will not be anything like me, except for the best parts. Hopefully, God, I pray that be true.
Well, is there anything like what you're broadcasting right now? And if what you're broadcasting right now is what you're putting into their ears on a daily basis, I'm sure you got nothing to worry about on that front, man. Like, you're spitting truth. You're and like the right kind of like class materialist analysis to things, but that's understandable, it's relatable, it's real.
I
And
appreciate that.
that's where you shine, man.
I
So
really
with
do.
that, I will bid you adieu. I gotta go take care of Gramps.
Yes, sir, Derek. Thank you very much. We'll be in touch. Here,
Yeah, man,
I don't
take it
know if you
easy.
know how to get down. I'll let you down. I appreciate Derek for coming up. I appreciate everyone. I'm going to be cutting it here in a second, but I just wanted to close on this. First and foremost, I'm going to ambush you with this one. Tap in with Liquidate the Billionaires. That's right, Liquidate the Billionaires with our ambitious goal to turn every mega yacht into a coral reef. If that's something that you can believe in, then please tap in with Liquidate the Billionaires on all platforms. You can tap in with me, MTC STW. Follow the Propaganda Factory on all platforms. This will be an audio experience after the fact. They sponsor that. They sponsor us on 7 platforms. We could be on 8. We're working on it. Also, I want to plug Vo Noir. That's VOIXNOIRE.com. Please help support a brown or marginalized family this holiday season. Vo Noir is offering the ability to sponsor a family. They have some different packages available. So that's Vo Noir, VOIXNOIRE.com. Sorry for the ambush, but I also really do want to close on a real message that together, we will do anything. We will do everything. And only together will we find the strength. Because in our darkest moments, when we look inside, all we feel is alone. But that is not the truth. We are not alone. Even right here, I'm sitting right here in my kitchen. There's no one else in this house, but there are comrades right here in real time. We got like 15. Got some on TikTok. Got some on the other platform. We got like 15 comrades right now. After the fact, we'll see how many we do. But comrades, I'm counting on you to stay engaged. I'm counting on you to help me, help you, help each other. We all have to help ourselves continue to carry on through this drudgery. We have to continue to fight through this despair, and we cannot give up. We must continue fighting for everything, for everything. All right? Any one of you can reach out. Reach out to me, reach out to our community, get in our Discord, because we're all struggling, but we're putting together compassionate and empathetic people, like-minded people who are struggling, so that we can struggle together, so that one day we will struggle no more. With that, your CEO is signing out today, but still working. I appreciate it.